Hey guys, my name is Casey. I'm 24 years old. I currently live in Besançon in France. It's on the eastern side of the country, close to Switzerland and Germany. I used to be a student of Madame Bond's several years ago. She was my French teacher at Kennesaw State University. I'm here to talk to you about language and what it means to me personally and why it's important for you also. Side note, I'm terrible at making videos, so just roll with it. First of all, just me personally, there are the obvious reasons. I love to travel. I've had the travel bug, since university. Really, I spent a semester in Rennes, in the western side of France, and after that, I couldn't stop. It was like I had to keep going, and obviously, learning a second language makes that a lot easier. I mean, a lot easier. Um, for instance, just last week I was in Marrakesh, which is in Morocco. I went with some of my friends here in France. And in Morocco, usually people's second language is French. It's not their first language, but which is good because they actually think that I am French when I'm speaking, which was really funny. But so anyway, in Marrakesh, you have to haggle prices for any kind of goods. So you go to this, it's called the souk, and you go and you can buy anything really that you want, but you definitely have to haggle. And learning French made this so much easier for me because when you haggle with someone in their own language, they have this respect for you, and in turn it just makes it so much easier. They don't think that you're easy to win over, and I feel like it really helped me just in that one weird circumstance. Um, Also, I've made friends literally all over the world. I tried to make a list of all the countries that I have friends in, and it's about 20. Just from doing one semester abroad and learning a language, I have friends everywhere. And this is really great because I do love traveling, and it makes traveling a little bit cheaper if you can stay with some of these friends. But for me, it was being able to connect with a person that I never would have been able to before. For example, I had some German friends, and I don't speak German, and they don't speak English, but we both spoke French. And it helped connect me to people that before I never would have been able to have a relationship with. And so language can connect you not just to French people, but to all kinds of people. This year, I have a friend from Russia. I obviously do not speak Russian. Her English, she can hear English really well, but she can't speak. So we still speak in French. And I mean, I have a friend from Russia just because I can speak French. So don't think that language limits you to one specific culture. It can connect you to people literally all over the world. And as far as careers go, it's really versatile. It's something that you don't necessarily have to solely pursue. For example, I chose to pursue just language as a career path. I'm a French teacher. I teach at a high school in Georgia, but this year I'm taking a year off to teach English because why not? And but I'm just saying that you don't have to only do language if you choose language. You can add language to any field. If you like, especially if you like engineering and those kind of sciencey math kind of things. Seriously, that can really, really help you and give you an edge to your game because not everyone speaks a second language. But if you're that one person that has that extra something, especially something like a language, it's really impressive to people and it can really help boost your career really in anything that you want to do. Um, okay, so just as far as that's just how it affects me personally. But when talking about why it's important for you, maybe some of you are really passionate about the world and changing it and caring for it. And I'm telling you, language connects you to people. And I'm a people person. I love being connected to people. I love making new friends. And if you're passionate about that, then obviously you want to have a way to reach people that you normally wouldn't have. You can't just rely on everyone to speak English because reality check, not everyone speaks English. So learning French or learning, gosh, whatever language, learning Spanish especially, or some Asian language, anything, if you're passionate about people and about the world, this is something that can really help you. Learning a second language can open up your mind, can change your perspective, it can help shape your worldview. It changes the way you see things and the way that you understand the world and how it works. If you only ever stay in one place or stay in one country and only ever speak one language, that's all that you'll ever really understand. So when you learn a language, you can understand a culture so much better. I always thought that you can't understand another culture and another society really unless you speak their language, because linguistics, it shapes your thinking, it shapes the way that you perceive the world. So if you can learn how to do that, if you can learn how to enter into someone else's culture in a real, tangible way, it can change everything for you. It changes people's perspective about you. Most Americans do not speak a second language. People don't expect us to speak a second language, and usually we don't. That's just normal. However, when you go somewhere and people see that you as an American made an effort to learn someone else's language, it changes the way they think about us. And it changes the way that people perceive our culture, because everyone sees all of our media and all of our news, and that's all that they get. But when they meet you and you speak their language, it can change everything. For example, like I said, I was staying in Marrakesh last week, and we stayed in this little riad, which is sort of I don't know how to explain it, but it's sort of like it's like a house, obviously, but it's really tall, and on the inside there's like a big courtyard that's sort of open. It's a really open courtyard, and then the rooms are sort of around in a square. I don't know how else to explain it to you, but the really nice lady who worked at the desk and helped us with everything, she told us at the end of our stay, as we were leaving, the taxi driver was there to pick us up. And she told us, and she gave us a hug, which I thought was great, and she was so sweet, but she said, "You're the only Anglophones I've ever met who could speak French fluently." And I was kind of surprised because, this place is a hotel, kind of, and they see a lot of Anglophones and they see a lot of people. But we were the only ones in years that she had ever met who spoke French. And that changed her perspective of us, and that changed how she felt about us. And she was so, she was so kind, and she went out of her way to help us. And I think that she really appreciated that we had taken the effort to get out of our little bubble and learn something else about a different culture or society. So just in conclusion, learning a language, it gives you access to the world. It literally gives you access to people and places and all kinds of things that you never would have expected it to. If you ever want to travel, or if you ever want to get out and see the world, this is one of the best ways to do it. Learn a language. It's good for you.